So, Jason, more fun SB 326 going on.
Oh, yes. Yep. It's the gift that keeps giving, right?
Yes. So, I mean, for anybody that doesn't know, SB 326 is a state bill. It's basically for safe balcony and decks and their inspections needing to be done for condos. And it is definitely starting to stir up things in the world of real estate, and potentially will be for refinances too, I'm assuming.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, refinance or purchase, a lender's going to need their questionnaire form filled out.
Yeah.
And depending on how that's filled out by the HOA, more documentation may be required. And then, of course, the inspection report, the SB 326 inspection report. And then based on whatever that says, I mean, there's a lot, and you may not even actually know what's going on for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We're operating on an HOA's timeline. Right, and that's also what makes it pretty challenging.
Yeah.
There's certain, if it's a purchase and let's say the listing agent has a good relationship with the HOA or has a good contact, maybe we can get some of this stuff up front to avoid some of the pain during underwriting.
Yeah.
That would be ideal, but I know it's just not always possible.
Well, I know we've already run into instances where the HOA would not release the documents to the lender, even though the lender is the one that's requesting it. So as far as getting the actual inspection that's required for the loan, then they're saying that the homeowner has to request it directly. So that's like a whole other step, because normally the homeowner's not involved in ordering really the HOA stuff. They may pay for it, but they're not specifically asking for specific documents.
Yeah, nor do they really know what they're asking for.
Correct,
right?
Which makes it extra challenging.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, unless we, like, let's say, as underwriting or loan officer who knows what this document or report is that we're requesting, if we can't go directly and ask for it, then it might be getting lost in translation anyway. Yeah. And that just delays things, and it just makes a whole mess out of it.
Well, and these reports are pretty extensive. I mean, they're essentially, engineer quality going into what is actually happening. Are these structures safe? Are they sound? Because there have been issues with other communities that have not been keeping them up so well. And the reason it's so important is that obviously the lender is backing the loan. And if these properties are not safe, then, I mean, there could be lawsuits, there could be all sorts of things down the road. So the lender needs to know what their potential risk is. Exactly,
yeah. And that's the whole point of all of it, is what's going on in the complex. And, based on the new guidelines that are out, are we comfortable? Does it meet the guidelines, and are we comfortable proceeding with the loan?
Yeah. And I know from my perspective, a lot of times some buyers don't realize that you can't lock in your HOA fees. And I think many people do understand that these can change. HOA dues can change. They can change. You can have special assessments. As much as we try to educate people on that may be something that, is glossed over, or something that you don't pay attention to it because it's not happening now. You think, oh, it won't happen to me, just like anything else in life that you don't want to have happen to you.
Right.
So the thing is that a lot of times buyers are kind of naive to it. And I think that with all of these inspections, while they are for the safety of people, so that is so important, it also means that there's more likely going to be more assessments and more increases in HOA dues than probably we've ever seen in a very long time.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's very easy to not even consider that as a homeowner.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's great. They're inspecting the complex to make sure everything's safe. But logically, if there's repairs that need to be done, who's going to be paying for that?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'm sure it's not something... HOAs have their reserves and they do budget for repairs, but not necessarily ones that are mandated to happen at a specific time frame.
Yeah.
Usually they expect that something will last a certain number of years, like a roof might be expected to last 30 years.
Right.
But balcony and decks, I mean, depending on the material they were constructed with, they can go bad a lot sooner than others. And just if they're not kept up well, there's no real way to guess up front how well it's going to be maintained. I mean, you have a plan, but that doesn't mean it's always executed.
Yeah, and if it's a complex that was built a while ago, I mean, standards 40, 30 years ago are a lot different than what they are now. Yeah. Not to mention just the wear and tear from all that time as well. So it's a lot to consider, and if the HOA does need to dip far into their reserves, they also need to replenish those reserves at some point.
Yeah.
Right? And
well, I know we've seen in some cases the amount of the repair work it far exceeds what they have already allotted for those
so
repairs.
They can't even do it all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to do it in stages, which I believe that was the case on the one we were working on earlier this year, where some properties had been repaired, others were in line to repair, but there wasn't necessarily specific dates or whatnot of when that was going to take place. Yeah. And that was a big struggle trying to get that information.
And I think that we're trying to make sure that people that are part of the communities, first of all, the homeowners who are paying HOA dues, are aware of the issue. And then also the people on the HOA boards need to be aware of the impact. Obviously, anything that is a critical repair, anything that's very seriously safety related, those should absolutely be addressed first. And I think that's common sense, but it really is important, because with the one that we had earlier this year, had one of the units that was not a critical repair not been repaired, that would have prevented the loan from happening, because the lender would not allow for any units that had critical repairs to be part of the package.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what would be really nice in a perfect world is if there was a realtor and a lender on every HOA board.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I feel like that would make things a lot easier, because the HOAs, they're managing the complex, and they're doing so, and they're operating from a place of like we were talking about earlier, with everyone that currently lives there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like it's as high priority to make sure that everything is up to whatever guideline is necessary for financing for people that want to come in, like future homeowners in the complex, right?
Yeah.
It's more so like, what are we doing now with our current homeowners to make sure that things are operating smoothly? But it's constantly changing with all of these different now we got the bill, the inspection report, guidelines change, and it's hard enough in the industry to keep up with all of it, let alone just an HOA trying to keep track of that. So it'd be really helpful if there's education involved with HOAs, so that they know how to proceed from here, so that there's not these types of issues. But I think it's going to go on for some time, and every situation is going to be unique. There's going to be new scenarios that come up.
Yeah.
Like the one we're currently dealing with. You have a report or an inspection done, but the report's not back yet. Things like that that we just have to try to navigate and figure it out as we go.
Yeah, and so since the SB 326, since everything with that was essentially pushed back to 2026, but it is already having an impact on sales now, how much more do you think it's going to impact condo sales once we hit 2026?
I think a lot more.
Yeah. I agree.
Who knows? We're probably going to run into issues with HOAs that didn't get the report done in time, and then they're just going to be on the decline list at that point.
Yeah.
And there's not really a workaround for that. If the inspection hasn't been done, I think it's just going to be a hard no. And then we'll still have the same issues that we're experiencing now, where maybe the inspection was done, but we're waiting for the report. Maybe that changes next year, where, if you don't have the report back yet, you're supposed to have this on file at this point.
Yeah.
Can't do anything until the report's back. That could possibly be a scenario as well. And then, of course, just the ones where the report is back and there's all these critical repairs, they're not done. There's a whole host of things that could come up, and it's going to be it'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out. But it's definitely not getting any easier to purchase a condo with all of this stuff going on.
I think that it would be really smart for people that are living in condos, thinking about selling a condo, thinking about refinancing a condo, thinking about divorcing, anything to do with your life in a condo, to reach out. Jason and I can help navigate at least what to ask your HOA, or if you're on an HOA board, what should you be hyper aware of and more time sensitive to, because your neighbors are going to start knocking on your door when they go to sell, and they find out that there's all sorts of lender issues that are preventing them from selling or selling with ease, and it's going to severely limit the buyer pool that can qualify.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. And like you said, for the existing homeowners, I mean, it's already hard enough to sell a home. It's a stressful time trying to move and all that. And the last thing that you want or expect is to find out that you can't sell your condo because of whatever's going on with the inspections, and any buyer, unless they're coming in with all cash, isn't able to get financing. It's a tough spot to be in.
I do wonder too, just from a practical standpoint, if these reports come back and they're, fairly condemning, if that's going to have a negative impact on insurance. I'm sure it will.
I'm sure it would. Yeah,
so that's just another expense to be aware of.
Yeah, definitely.
Insurance. Ask MK.
Yes, we could ask MK next time on that. Not only that, but like you were talking about earlier, the HOA dues.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be even more of an increase, starting next year, moving forward, just as a whole.
Yeah.
As more of these repairs come to light and start getting repaired and fixed and whatnot. We'll see how it goes. But condos may just ultimately continue to get a little bit more expensive.
Well, and I guess the things for people to be aware of. First of all, if you're debating between condo versus townhouse or house, take that into consideration. Like what really does make more sense for you financially, because you cannot control how much the HOA dues go up over time. So if you think you're saving money, maybe you are, but maybe you're not, So you might have to roll the dice a little bit there, but take that into consideration when you're thinking forward, and maybe make that part of your plan and your strategy. Also, if you own a condo, proactively you can find out what is actually happening with these inspections. Where does your place stand? How is your HOA taking control over resolving any potential conflicts? So that way the homeowners can, sleep soundly, like for their safety and for their financial impact.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, ideally you move into a new place and, after escrow closes, and then you're just in your home and you don't have to worry about anything else, more or less. But I think it's probably a good idea to have the mindset, if you're going to buy a condo, you should definitely insert yourself, maybe get on the board or go to the meetings and just get really actively involved in your HOA community, so you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And in that way, hopefully have like a little bit of an influence on how things are being run as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you're just, you just got your head buried in the sand, that's where these surprises come up, and they're not fun. It's pretty painful.
Well, and I do like what you said earlier about sometimes, in some instances, people that are on the HOA boards are there, and while they are taking into consideration what the residents want, they are not necessarily as aware of the outside forces. So the state bills that have to take priority, because that has a heavy impact on how the place is going to be valued and be a future home for somebody.
Yeah, it could take it from a desirable community to a very undesirable community very quickly.
Yeah, and if you're thinking that this is your nest egg or someplace that you're going to retire from, or effectively live off for the rest of your life, you certainly, real estate, most people think of it as an appreciating asset. We want to have it keep appreciating for your long-term plans.
Right. Yeah, that's the goal. And getting all this information as quickly as you can to make the best informed decision is the way to go, for sure.
So basically, any HOA committee members, any management companies that want to bring us on to consult, let's chat to you. Let's talk to you about it and see, just so you have an understanding of how it's impacting the desirability and the investment of the property too. Yeah,
what would be great is maybe if we could get, if we know an HOA board member from a community to come on.
That'd be awesome.
And pick their brain on this. That would be just to continue this conversation further.
Okay.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll work on that.
Any HOA board members watching, you're invited.
Yeah,
Message
absolutely.
us.
Yeah.